guys? Welcome back to another MedalMan WICSO series. Today we are continuing from where we left off so far, and as normal, we're starting up here in the Black Sea area. Over the next few years, we see mainly the tan lemon Crimean team. I'm calling Crimea even though the capital's not there. Eventually explores down through here and learns that the Black Sea, pretty much, even though it's not fully confirmed yet, it's pretty obvious that this is all just one big ocean. And so, with this, these two decide that with all the stuff going on with them, they have no need to fight each other, and decide to make a deal wherein, along the line, the Crimeans get everything to here, and the Samsonites, not the Salmonites. What do they call it? I forget. Over there, but the Samsonites, the city Samson, go to there. So with that, the Black Sea coast is conquered. Over here, we see the Romanians exploring up into here and up through the Moldova region. On my phone real quick, I'm gonna pull up a Ukraine and there we see the Romanians continuing their advance along here. And here, basically I'm turning one more thing, essentially conquering what we know as Moldova up along this river that Transnistria is blocked off with. Down here with the beige team, you see them finally ending their expansion, settling their essentially permanent borders on the following line. Everything else, they really don't care. And that makes the Albanians very happy. Sorry for that stutter. Whom come into this area and take it. Coming down here, we see these are Diamond Alliance gain a new member. The Cyprians, or Cyprus. Okay, with Cyprus in this, the alliance becomes a lot stronger. We continue moving south, and we reach. Nothing happens here right now because they're still recovering from the war against the dark green team. So we continue south to the red team, whom continues the aggressive expansion along this coast until finally meeting the orange team. And yes, I do understand the red team is getting pretty big, but also you gotta remember the start of civilization. We also see them continuing down the Nile River to about where they got as far last time. Exploring, you know. Also up here, we see them exploring very much territory, almost getting everything on the side of the Nile in the Egypt area. We'll see them slightly exploring south again along the Nile. Finally, we see them finding this territory and continuing south here, really being forced to stay along the coast because of how strong the deserts are. Now we come down here to Qatar, whom is pretty much used to this warm temperature and is actually able to go into the deserts pretty well. However, they still mostly need to focus civilization along the coast and explore up into this territory. Going after it pretty quick in case anybody else has found the territory, because they do not know. Outside of Mesopotamia, they really all these guys know is Mesopotamia. Some group went there, and that there's a blue team here. Sorry, yeah, up this direction. Eventually, however, a boat comes off of here and finds the Iranian team here. And slowly and steadily, the Persian Gulf is explored. Moving over to India, we see this team only getting bigger as, I really need to get, I am tweaking out. Yeah, as we see this group both coming up here and coming back up towards the Indus River and coming back south across the Narmada River deep into India. However, they don't really go into the Indian continent yet, as they still don't know what all is over here. Now we come over here to Italy. We have already seen Italy is not too hot, like fun, but it only begins to get worse as we see this part of South Italy try to break off. South Italy, to their respect, begins doing a pretty fair job at beating them back. However, out of the sudden, the Samnites proceed to intervene and invade here and liberate territory here. However, jumping on the opportunity all the way up here, we see the dark blue team invade the Samnites. Here, capturing the city and also invading this nation, almost taking their old capital. However, both of these nations are proceeded to have land taken off of them by the orange team. Yes, Italy is getting this bad. They land on Corsica here and lay siege to the city. And we see them cross the channel here and take the areas near Messina. With so much pressure, we see the pink team begin to collapse and be forced out of all these regions, with the rebellion reinvading them there. With all this pressure, the pink team surrenders giving up this territory, and this territory, and this territory, with a circle alliance being formed between the Samnites and this new Italian state, this free Italian state. Let me move the circle. Sorry, I'm gonna crash out. This thing does not work. Why, guys? Why wouldn't it let me grab the circle? There. Now, Samnites turn their attention back to the north, where the blue team has continued advancing through here and taking this, with any semblance of that old country collapsing. However, this team will not take that fairly and proceeds to attempt an attack back. They march here, launching a spearhead maneuver to encircle the city. They are almost encircled themselves with an attack here, but what? But a Samnite invasion here forces these troops to retreat back. We see them take that territory, invading part of the blue team, with the blue team unable to break the siege, and this city slowly collapses. Same with this city here. As the Samnites begin to push the blue team back across the front, the orange team realizes, wait, this is a great time for us to gain influence over Carthage, and land up here near the Genoa area, marching on capital from the other side. All this chaos, the the blue team takes their capital from here, and moves their capital over here to this city. This would turn out to be a really smart move, as Samnite troops and orange team troops crash down on the old blue team's capital, with the Samnites narrowly taking it. As the Samnites begin completely pushing against them on all fronts, we see the blue team surrender. Let's see what this peace treaty looks like. And we see the complete pushback of the dark blue team, with the Samnites essentially ruling over the Italian peninsula. Moving fully down to Carthage, they've already essentially conquered all they can over here. However, this does not stop them, however, in case, from making cities, as they begin making plenty of them. Another one in Sicily, 2 on Big Malta, 1 there, 1 south of their capital, 1 down here by the red team, who does the same, 1 in South Corsica, and 1 in the interior of Italy, along with a few over here in new territories. Also, I just realized I forgot to give these guys a capital, or even cities. Sorry about that. Their capital will be here. We see the orange team, very interested by this new sea, begin to explore up along this coast and find the Lisbon area, and begins to explore southern Spain, because although it's mountainous, it's not terrible. And although the lime green team also does some, we see Carthaginians expanding up into this at a large amount. as eventually we see them forming a city way out here on the Atlantic, along with one in the interior of Spain. At the same time, we see the lime green team exploring farther up along this coast, past the Barcelona area, and being the first to take on the Pyrenees, meeting up with French people here. They also explore over here and find the rest of these islands. Slowly over time, all the nations around this area eventually explore the entire western Mediterranean Sea. With this, we have the lime team take this. However, we see the orange team come up and snag this island. James lime team, but what can they do? Fight against all that? No, So instead, the lime team sticks to their own kind of area, marching up along this coast before the orange team make a small colony here with the French people coming down here along this coast. And why do this? Talking about the French, we had these cities. The French, as I said, are like, I don't know if I told you this, guys, but these are like the first, are like pretty decently nomadic and are big into exploring and conquering as much as they can, even if they don't have a lot of population. They follow the Pyrenees and find this sea here coming up along this. They also explore farther up along the Rhone River, along with past the Pyrenees in this end into the Basque region. We see the French people quickly go after this territory, spearheading as much as they can across South France, however, not really having the strength to get over there, and being forced to settle with making a few cities here and there. We also finally see this region being explored over. At the same time, Albania makes their move here. Along with finding more of the Adriatic, we see them marching up this coast, finding more and more land. They attempt to conquer as much as they can, but face an issue. A new nation issue. Which, for series is nothing new. As, 1 second, I need to find this good color. That maybe works? Yeah, it should work. This, like, dirty purple team, I'll call the color, forms here. As we find this peninsula, however, another nation, the Samnites, take it, extending their empire even further. Oh my gosh. Please forgive me. However, our islands will go very much north because the blue team, although losing the war, is not completely crippled. Yes, crippled, but they're not collapsing or anything. And are able to march up along this coast and pretty soundly take it. Yes, exploring the rest of northern Italy inside of the Alpine Mountains. You'll see a few cities, of course, forming along this area. In here, a port city here, and cities there and there, with this becoming the Dalmatians' capital. I made down the wrong layer, didn't I? I did. Give me a second. Sorry about that. I put that alliance on the wrong layer. But now, this is the new map of the world. The world is definitely getting bigger very fast. But, this is the end of the video. And goodbye!